So check this out, bro. Now, before we get started, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that notification button, and also hit that subscribe button. Help me get lit, help out the channel, support your boy. Now let's go, no cap. Okay, y'all, welcome back to another topic. And this is a very interesting topic. We got, remember when all of the, when everybody was saying that GNX beat Iceman in the first 75 days, I believe? They was trying to let GNX skip the line. You know what I'm saying? GNX, no, you already had an opponent to face before Iceman. Iceman's a big dog, you know. Iceman is an album that broke all the records. So why are y'all trying to go ahead and let GNX skip its first original opponent that it can't even beat yet on the billboards, which is Drake's album, Some Sexy Songs for You. You know what I'm saying? Drake's and Party Next Door's album, Some Sexy Songs for You. As you can see, GNX is like, I believe GNX is like on the Billboard 200s as of today. It's like number 143, I believe, 142, 143. And then you got Some Sexy Songs for You, which is on number 113. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is like, why are we trying to compare GNX to Iceman, which is probably like at number, I think, 9 on the Billboard Hot 100s, 200s, I mean? So why are we skipping GNX first opponent that it can't even beat, which is Some Sexy Songs for You? And to this day, it's out charting GNX on the Billboard 200s. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Iceman. You don't even want to compare GNX to Iceman because it's way up there. And and if y'all want to say GNX can't be compared to Iceman on the charts because it's you know, Iceman is newer than GNX. It's a more newer album. Okay, well, let's look at some of the old albums. Why is Drake's album Views at number 49 on the Billboard 200s? You see how old that album is, bro? You see how old that is? Why is Drake's album Views higher than GNX on the album? Why is Drake's album at number 81 higher than GNX on the Billboard 200s? Why is Drake's album Thank Me Later at number 88, I believe, 89? Why is that higher than GNX on the Billboard 200s? Why is Drake's album Certified Lover Boy at number 90 on the Billboard 200s higher than GNX? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear this. Drake's Iceman album is higher than GNX on the Billboard 200s because it's a newer album. What about Drake's old songs? And then when you take a look at Kendrick Lamar's album Damn, it's at number 24. And then it's right over For All the Dogs, which was at number 25. And if you look at For All the Dogs, it was at number 29 last week. So it's rising over. It might pass Damn next week because it's rising. It's going to the top. You know what I'm saying? So all of Drake's music have staying power over Kendrick Lamar's music. This proves that Drake is a better artist than Kendrick Lamar. All of this fast food, McDonald's crap y'all be talking about, that don't apply to Drake, bro. Look at all of these albums that Drake have on the Billboard 200s that's higher than Kendrick Lamar's albums, and they're longer running albums than Kendrick Lamar's albums. Views, Drake's album Views was on the charts longer than Kendrick Lamar's album Damn. Okay? So it's charting over Kendrick Lamar's album Damn by over 80 slots. By over 80 slots, bro. Let that sink in. I remember when y'all tried to hit us with the Drake Don't Have No Classics. Bro, y'all done lost y'all minds, bro. Y'all done lost y'all minds. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and play a blast from let me debunk that Let me go ahead and debunk that narrative y'all had that Drake don't have no classics. Roll the clip. So check this out, bro. We got Kendrick Lamar and Ebro both made assertions that Drake doesn't have a classic album, bro. Now I'm about to show where Ebro and Kendrick Lamar both make the claims that Drake doesn't have a classic album, bro. And then I'm gonna show you where they're both dead wrong. First up, Ebro.
There are albums in hip hop throughout forever that we don't debate are classics. Like the entire hip hop fandom, if you are a fan of the culture, not a fan of an artist, a fan of the culture. When you throw out certain titles, people don't debate it. Like you say Nas Illmatic, nobody's gonna go, it's not a classic. Wu-Tang Clan 36 Chambers.
Ready to Die.
Ready to Die. Jay-Z Blueprint.
Right.
We could keep going. Eric B. and Rakim.
Good Kid, Mad City. If you want to get more recent,
Good Kid, Mad City. If you want to go more recent.
Yeah.
And so this is not debated. What's interesting though that I saw on social media, and this is for you Drake fans, y'all don't even agree on what the classic Drake album is or the classic hip-hop Drake album.
Right.
But isn't that an issue more of how we consume media and how, because of our job, we
It could
critique
be,
media?
but I think there should be a consensus among the hardcore Drake fans in hip-hop,
A
right?
bona fide selection that
But
we all
we don't-
agree on.
And now we got Kendrick Lamar making the claim that Drake doesn't have a classic album in Euphoria.
You gon' make a nigga bring back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really crashed something. Yeah, my first one like my last one. This a classic, you don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that.
I'm about to show you why Drake's core audience can't stomach your tongue lying through your teeth with all that mouthing off you capping with pimping. You said Drake don't have a classic album, bro. You see Kendrick Lamar and Ebro, let's look up the definition of what the word classic means. A classic is something of high quality, lasting value, or timeless appeal. Timeless appeal. Let's pay attention to the lasting value or timeless appeal part. Now let's look at when Drake's Views album was released, bro. And let's look at when Drake's Take Care album was released, bro. Now, Drake's Take Care album and Views album was released way back then in those years, and they're still on the Billboard Hot 200s as of today in 2026, bro. Classics. What do y'all mean Drake don't have no classic albums? Those albums are timeless, which is in the definition of classic, bro. What are y'all talking about? That's two classic albums from Drake right there. Kendrick Lamar, Ebro, you're wrong. Drake has classic albums. The proof is in the pudding. No cap. Now, there was a video I did back then, you know what I'm saying? And I basically made a good point. I basically showed the definition of what classic mean. And Drake's albums is the exact definition of what a classic is. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, that's just a basic, that's a good myth buster. You know what I'm saying? People trying to say that Drake didn't have no classic albums, or people trying to say that Kendrick Lamar's GNX album beat Drake's Iceman album in his first 75 days, and it can't even chart higher than Some Sexy Songs for You as of today. And you can't say that GNX is an older, you can't say that GNX is an older album than Some Sexy Songs for You. You can't say that GNX is an older album than Some Sexy Songs for You, bro, because Some Sexy Songs for You came out like 3 to 4 months after GNX. So it's right there. It's pretty much neck to neck. So like I'm saying, Drake's Iceman album, it just got stand power for all the people who tried to say it came and went. What? As we speak, Drake's Iceman album is still the #1 rap album in hip hop, bro. It still is, bro. I mean, look at Pooh Shicey's album. It came out, and it was over Drake's Iceman album, right? That first week, and then the next week it dropped down, and Iceman's album is still out charting Pooh Shicey's album. Rick Ross' album just came. All of these hip hop albums, Future, everybody's hip hop album that came, Iceman is still in the top 10 as we speak on the Billboard 200s. That's staying power, bro. It got staying power. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So basically, you know what I'm saying, miss me with all of this. Iceman came and went. GNX beat Iceman in the first 75 days when we got some sexy songs for you, charting higher than GNX as we speak. You know what I'm saying? And you still got views, and you got all of Drake's albums, Certified Lover Boy. You got basically Thank Me Later. All of these albums charting higher than GNX. So you can't just use an excuse and say, well, Iceman's charting higher than GNX because it's a newer album. No, those albums are years older than GNX, and they are charting as we speak to this day in 2026 higher than GNX. So that shows you the quality of good food that Drake put out. His music feeds the soul. And you know what I'm saying? So that's why you can say that Drake's music got staying power. And you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up right quick. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it a little short like that. But y'all go ahead, hit the like button, share button, hit me up, subscribe. Stay tuned next episode, and let's get up out of here. No cap.